Iowa State taking on the U, Miami, Jim Larinaga and company in the Sweet 16. It did open up at Iowa State briefly, and I watched it appear on the Westgate board, and then it disappeared just as fast as it came up as the money came in on the U. Now, more money this morning. I'm seeing threes prevalent across the board here, Bryan Leonard. 132 is a total. I don't think that is shocking here, but there has been nothing but love for Miami from that opening number till this morning. What do you think?
Yeah, Miami's been good to us in this tournament. I can't complain at all. I hate to call a mistake on an opening line, but how could anybody want to bet Iowa State? Sure, they've done well. They've won their games, but that has been ugly. And this is a team that is ugly if you're looking for offense. In the half court on the season, shot quality points per possession, 335th in the half court, 214th in transition. Pick and roll ball screen, 330th. Off screen, 353. I mean, this is a team from the cut, 301. This is a bad offensive team in Iowa State. Miami obviously has the clear offense here advantage. You take a look at their transition on the season. Shot quality points per possession, lead the nation, 1.19. They're going to get out and run on you. And that's the whole thing. Can Iowa State stop them? They've been pretty good defensively. That's the strength of this Iowa State team defensively. But offensively, they're so bad. And you can actually see this coming where if Miami gets out to a lead in this game, how is Iowa State going to come back? They just don't have that ability. That said, the line now at 3 is making it very hard to lay the points with Miami. The line moved 4 points very quickly, and it was the right move. Miami's the better team. They have the scoring ability. I prefer the Miami side, but I wouldn't lay any more than 3.5. I wouldn't go any farther than that. The big weakness for this Miami defense is against catch and shoot three-pointers. They're ranked 335th, but I talked about this Iowa State offense. Catch and shoot three-pointers, offensively 327th. So they don't have that ability to take advantage of Miami that other teams have had. I like Miami here, but if you're getting in this late, you are hurting yourself from a line perspective. 3's good. 3.5 is probably okay. Don't lay 4 in this game. I think Miami's the better team, and they've been taking all the money, and that would be the only way I would look in this game.
It's kind of hard, Tony Finn, to look at Iowa State, and I've had a problem all tournament long backing teams who can't score. Iowa State can't score. Texas Tech can't score. And look, it ultimately did them in as they went in this tournament. So do you trust that their defense will generate enough offensive points here in transition to be able to take down the Canes tonight?
Well, I listened to Bryan, and then you just basically reiterated what he said. But when I looked at the numbers last couple of days on Iowa State, this is a team that scored 70 points on 14 occasions. 14 times they scored 70 points. At LSU, they hit their threes and turned LSU over and made them look stupid. Of course, that's what they do. Listen, Iowa State's really their Achilles is that they, too, turn the ball over a little bit too much. I mean, it's kind of a conundrum there for them. It's contrary. But in this case, listen, Miami isn't Wisconsin. I think we can all agree to that. Wisconsin, it was overseeded, I thought, et cetera, et cetera. But Miami's good on the boards. They have dynamic players that can be creative and catch points in transition. And they don't have a problem with turnovers like with LSU. But if this game's in the 60s, Miami's in trouble. That's all there is to it. If Iowa State can prevent Miami from scoring, they don't have to score. They will put LSU in. They'll put them in a situation where Miami will not be as good as we've talked about. Remember, it wasn't very long ago, Joe, we did a show, and I don't remember who was on it. I thought maybe Bryan was, but we were really pimping USC, how much better they were than Miami. And Miami proved us wrong on that game. Outstanding. So I'm not on this game, and I'm not on this game because I can't wrap my arms around either one of these teams other than I know that people say Iowa State can't score. they've scored this year. They have scored 70 points or more 14 times. And in those games, they win. There we go.
So, Tony Mejia, it's interesting, too. This game is what, about maybe 4.5, 5 hours from Iowa there, I believe, in Chicago. So I do think Iowa State will be represented in the crowd. But I also turn around and looked at Miami has made us more money on the road this year than any other team that I can remember. They have been amazing on the road. So I don't think location makes a damn bit of difference. A bunch of 30-year-olds on this team anyway. So come on, talk to me here. Do you like Miami or Iowa State?
What really would have been fun is if Iowa would have made this part of the bracket, because they were there. It would have potentially set up an Iowa State Elite Eight
That's
game.
right.
In a situation where Iowa State's opponent tonight would have had to deal with Iowa fans rooting against them and vice versa. So we don't get that. We get a game where it's going to be a battle of wills, because I think Jim Laranaga's Canes do want to push in transition, do want to get their key guards, all three of them, Charlie Moore, Cam Auguste, and Isaiah Wong, all getting comfortable and going. And Iowa State, the one thing that they've been able to do is disrupt teams in a manner that Texas Tech has been able to up until the second half last night. Just trying to bully. It's the same type of defense that eliminated Gonzaga and Arizona last night. Just let's bully you. Iowa State is a little deeper than Miami, so we'll have to see. And what pulled Iowa State through to this point were two, for lack of a better term, flukish 3-point shooting games from Tyrese Hunter, the freshman, in game one. He hit 7 threes, and from Gabe Kalisher, the Minnesota transfer, who's well known for not being able to shoot. And he was humongous against Wisconsin. They've also caught some breaks. LSU's Tari Eason, their best player, came off the bench and got into foul trouble, played less than 20 minutes. In the Wisconsin game, the Badgers lost Chucky Hepburn, so Johnny Davis didn't have anybody to take some pressure off him handling the ball. So we'll see. Tonight's going to be a situation where both teams could have their hands full. If Miami, who's not a good 3-point shooting team, struggles from the field, they could find themselves down the stretch. And it could be a situation where whoever ends up with the ball in their hands last, be it Wong or McGusty for the Canes, or Isaiah Brockington for Iowa State, can deliver a win. It's a homecoming of sorts for Charlie Moore, who's been in the college ranks for, I think, 6 years. So, and he was highly decorated, started his career and was at DePaul last year, and then before that at Kansas. Started his career, I even forget where, but it's been so long he's been in college. So, a lot of guys, that's a very key matchup too, is Moore against Hunter, because Hunter's particularly young. So it'll be a fun matchup. My lean is towards the under here. I guess I disagree with Finn that if this game's in the 60s, Miami's in trouble. I think if this game's in the 60s, it's up for grab. If this game's in the 50s, Miami's in trouble. And Iowa State certainly capable of slowing it down to make it a game that's 55-54 with a couple minutes to go.
Jim Larinaga, been here before. Final Four appearance. Who was it with, Mejia?
George Mason.
Yeah, George Mason, 2006. That's correct. So Larinaga, an opportunity to take the Canes to the Elite Eights. Should be a good one here tonight.